Hello and welcome back to the channel on another cold morning. This is going to be part 4 of the Jaguar Sill replacement saga. So without further ado, let's crack on with the Jag for now and see how we get on. So carrying on from last week, as you can see there, I did cut the sill. Obviously left the good metal there. There's no point cutting away good metal. So I've got just to have a look at this inner sill. I think there might be a small repair to do up there once I've cleaned it all up. But what I need to do now is just get the rest of this sill off, which will be the same as part 1. Basically just running a chisel along all the spot welds and get my angle grinder underneath there to cut the rest of it off and then dress it all up. So let's get cracking. So as you can see, I'm part way through removing the sill. Obviously that's where it's rotted away at the front. That came away quite easily, and obviously that at the back there again totally rotted through, so that was quite easily cut away with the grinder. So I have actually run a line underneath at the back of that sill under there. So now I'm just breaking off, as before, as per the other side, just breaking off the spot welds, because it is spot welded to this inner sill. The inner sill, just in case anybody is wondering, the inner sill naturally stops there. Why Jaguar did that I don't know, but that's what it is. So all that in there just seems to be surface rust. Doesn't look too bad in there, but we'll have a look at that in a bit and repair as we need to. So all I need to do now is just continue to break these spot welds, and then I can get this sill finally off and then dress along to where I'm going to weld the new sill to quite easily. So far so good. So that's the most of that sill removed. All it was a case of, as before, it's spot welded to this inner part of the sill, probably every 1.5 inches, something like that, and it's just a case of getting in between with a wood chisel, nice good sharp one. This is an old one, and just breaking away those spot welds. And it's the same for the rest of that sill that's left on there. It's just a case of getting the chisel in there, give it a few taps just to break the spot welds, and just pulling it away. So I've just got the rest of this to do, to the rear and obviously to the front, because I started in the middle, and all I did was to break them away, was to get the chisel in the drain points and give it a good leverage. And because it's rotten anyway, it broke away quite easily, as you can see there. So that allows me now to get the chisel in and break off those welds. Obviously this will need to be dressed up, so I can weld my new sill on. So it's all good, it's very solid, it's just surface rust, as is up here with these inner sills. It is just surface rust, it's nice and solid. So as before, we can just go ahead and weld the new sill straight on there. Looking at the back on that inner part of the sill, do excuse me, yeah, it goes in here to the inner part of the chassis, so that I'm going to have to repair, and I'll put a patch on that, and obviously along here. So I'm going to clean all this up. I've still got plenty of metal, so it'll be a case of doing a repair on there. I didn't show the repair on the other side, so I am going to obviously document this side. Nice easy repair, nothing too drastic. May actually just do it in 2 parts because of this bit that goes in, and obviously weld up to here. So nice and easy, nothing too drastic. It's just a case of cleaning up and getting the old welder out. So as you can see there, I'm just adding now this bit of plate that needs to go on that inner sill. It hasn't got to look pretty because it's going to be covered up anyway, but just to show you where it curves in just up here. So what I'm doing, as I'm tacking it along which heats up the metal. It'll then allows me to whack it into shape as I follow it along there, so it's all still nicely attached to that inner sill there, and it'll shape along with it. The only welds I'll need to dress up is here, because that's where the new sill is going to be welded into place. So I just need to flatten these off once it's in, but I will do a full seam weld along there, just to make sure it's all nicely attached, and adding strength to the car. That's all it needs to do. It doesn't need to look pretty, it's just there to add some strength. So I shall continue and weld that. I'll just need to weld along here, another weld in there, and then I can stretch this metal again, bend it into shape, and that's what I'm doing, just going along there little bit by little bit. And yeah, plenty to do. So that'll do for that bit of a repair to the inner sill. Like I say, I don't need to make it look pretty, it's not going to be seen. But before I actually do weld on the sill, I'll try and get some zinc spray in there, just to, you know, try and help things along later on. And obviously when I put the new sill on, same as the other side, I'll give in there a good coat of wax and wax oil and what have you. So yeah, I'm about ready to actually start cutting up the replacement sill to match what I've cut out here. Obviously there's a little bit of dressing to go on, you know, obviously straighten these edges up and whatever, because this was just a rough cut basically, so I could get the old sill off. So yeah, we're still ploughing on, still plenty to do, but yeah, it's looking good, not too bad at all. But that's the repair I did want to document, because I didn't need to do one on the other side, although it looked crusty. It was actually still solid, it was just surface rust. But on this side, being the passenger side, it gets the worst of it, so that repair needed to be done. Like I say, it's not meant to be pretty, it's just there to add strength, so all good. So that's the sill tacked in place in a couple of places, just to get it into place. So really that's all that's left for me to do now, is carry on with all these welds, and obviously as per part 1 and 2 and 3 maybe, carry on and weld along there and dress them up. So I think that's about as much as I want to do today. I do have other things to do today, but that's the sill in place, and we'll continue this with the miracle of time. So time has passed, and as you can see there, all my welds are all filled in there, and of course all the way along the front door, and all my welds underneath there are nicely secure. I have had some trouble this morning getting my welds to actually stick under there, so I've ended up doing it twice. Obviously there was no point me videoing all of the welding, simply because it's all been seen in part 1 and part 2. So what's left for me to do now is to grind off and smooth off those welds and make it look prettier, and then, as before, give it a good dose of stone chip and get it painted black and painted green and get the sill cover back on. So there's not much left to do now. However, on the underside under there, while I was welding, I did find another hole which I am going to have to jack the rear of the car up to get underneath there. But apart from that, it's all going rather well indeed. So as you can see there, done a little bit of a clean up, get some of the crap off the bottom of the car there. Right, so that's all my welds nicely ground off, nice and smooth. I've run some emery cloth along there just to get off the jagged edges of the paint. So I'm now ready to apply the stone chip to this lovely new sill. So we're steamrolling ahead with it now. and then obviously once that's dry I can then give it a coat of black, and obviously up here paint it green again like before, same as the other side really. So all good. I've carried out the repair to the underside underneath there. It was just well, it weren't that big a hole, it was probably only half an inch, but it was worth grinding it back, putting a plate over that, so at least when the MOT sees it, he's not going to start poking more holes in it. He's actually going to look at it and go, yeah, that's been repaired. So obviously as well, underneath there I'll give it a coat of stone chip as well, like I did the other side as well, just to refresh it. So right, I've got my compressor set up, and as before I'm using this stuff, which comes out grey. So it's basically primer based as well, so you can paint whatever you like to it. So, and it does look pretty good once it's on and all done. So right, let's crack on and get this done. And with the miracle of time, that's a nice decent coat of stone chip on that new sill. Again, just to help protect it just that little bit more. So once that's dry now, I can put some black and green paint on. I'll start with the black paint, and just so it goes underneath as well, around the other side of the sill, where also I have applied some stone chip to the other side of it as well, just to refresh it. Obviously first just went along with the scratch brush just to get any old flaky stuff off. Yeah, pretty good. Well, I've got a little bit of overspray there, but a bit of thinners will take that off. Nothing to worry about. So we're almost there, nearly done. Soon be MOT time. And there we have it. A couple of coats of stone chip, a couple of coats of matte black, just because, and a couple of coats of green just to finish it off. So now all that's left for me to do is to clean up the sill cover, pop the new clips on and pop it on, and we're good to go. We'll be doing a quick check over for the MOT. You know, the usual once over, check the lights and all that. Obviously I don't need to check for corrosion at the minute, I hope, but I'll take my chance on that. So yeah, let's get that cleaned up and get it put, get the sill cover put back on, and let's get her off the ramps and get cleaned up, and we can find out then what happens with the MOT. Stay tuned. So there we have it, X-type fans. She is now off the ramp, sill trim covers back on, washed, not exactly polished, but I'm giving that far. Right, next up is take her for an MOT and see what happens. Wish me luck. So here we are, the moment of truth. She's about to go in. So the Ambassador takes up its usual spot. Meanwhile, the glorious X-Type is back out in its usual position and has passed her MOT. Did pick up a couple of advisories, basically a pitted brake disc on the front and a little bit of play in the inner joints on the power steer rack. Nothing to worry about. The car doesn't get driven that hard, so nothing I'm going to worry about at this stage. Maybe later on in the year I might put some new brake discs on the front and maybe sort those joints out, but apart from that, she's good to go. So there we have it. She lives on. So that brings a close, a happy close, to part 4 of this welding thing on the Jag. And so all that's left for me to say now is thanks for watching and staying tuned. no doubt there will be plenty of other videos to come. I have got plenty of work to do, and it's all in the pipeline. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all your comments and all your likes and shares and everything else, and thanks to the new subscribers that we've picked up during making this series of videos. Hope you've all enjoyed it. So from me, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you real soon. Take care now. Bye bye.